Good afternoon, guys, from Bangkok. Today we're going to check out a former prison and look around what used to be the museum, and then we're going to see what's became of this prison. Anyway, as you can see behind me, we're at what they called Ruamchung Junction, which used to be like the territorial prison in Bangkok. And this was a prison that King Chulalongkorn had ordered built in, I believe, like 1889. So it was roughly a prison here in Bangkok for about 100 years, and then they closed it up, and then they ordered these grounds to be converted into a museum. And now the museum is closed, and so it's became a park. So let me show you around, and let's see what it looks like around here. This is kind of a cool place. They still have the guard towers and a little bit of the walls, and as you can see, they still have the cells and all that. So let's see what we see. So here is the building, and I have it to where you can't get inside here. These are locked up, but you can look through the bars and everything, and you can see the stairwell that would take you up, and then you can see into some of the holding cells. So they were kind of a sparse, like not a whole lot there. So there would have probably been just like a bed on the floor. Probably would have rolled it up during the day. And there's no bathroom, no anything in there. So you just have literally like a 6x6 box that you're in. And you can see the Thai writing and the English for each of these. But yeah, this has been closed up since 1987. They closed this up and they converted it into a museum. And I don't know what happened to the museum, because last I heard it was open. So I don't know how many years ago the museum closed up, because I'd never got a chance to come over here and see the museum. But it's a two-story building here, and then this would have been the outer wall. So you can see here's the wall, and then one of the guard towers. And it's not too far from Chinatown. So this is fairly easy to get to. You can take the Samyan MRT station and jump out, and you can walk right over here to this. It's probably, I don't know, 600-700 yards away from the Samyan MRT station. But that's the old cell block, and then you can see part of the wall and stuff is there. And the yellow building is what the museum became. And then you can see out into the park. So they converted all the old exercise yard into kind of a nice little green space here for this part of the city. And then this is the other side of the cell block. So here's another one of the guard towers, and you can see the wall. Not a whole lot left of the prison, but there's still some that you can see. But the park itself is pretty decent. It's has a little bit of the flowers and all of that, but mostly has quite a few shade trees, and it's got a nice jogging path, and it has weights and exercise equipment and stuff for people to come. There's not a lot of green spaces in Bangkok, so it's nice that they were able to convert this and use it as a green space. I mean, mostly this is just a city of concrete. You can see got the groundskeepers out. They're raking up some leaves. Have some security there doing something. Let's go into this little part of the building and see what we can see. So this looks like maybe like the front gate where they would bring people in. Not a place you would want to have visited if you were ever here in Bangkok, but I'm sure for a few foreigners wound up in there. So they would have stuck you in this little 4x4 cell when you first came in. It looks like the plaster's coming off the brick wall here. And then over here probably was admin. It looks like it's locked up. Yeah, the shutters and stuff, there's not much to see in there. And they would have had a shrine over here on the wall. And here, this is right next to the main gate. So it would have been quite a formidable wall if you were trying to climb it. It's about 20 meters tall. I don't know if they had barbed wire or whatever on the top of it also, but they had the guard posts or the guard towers, so you'd have been under constant observation. And then the wall that's went between these two guard towers is gone. You have one over there. And you can see the little hedges that are kind of bloomed out. And a closer look at this guard tower. And then the museum was right on the other side of this wall. So after we walk around the park, I'll walk around there and we'll look at the front of the museum. I don't know if this was a moat on the outside of the wall or if they've added this later on. You can see the flowers are bloomed out quite nice. And then right on the other side of here, if you keep going, that is the way towards Chinatown. And you're really close. So if you went to Samyot, I mean, the MRT, it's a pretty close walk from there to this park. And you also could go to Chinatown, which is very near. Then they have the Klong An. There's many things to do down in this area. The Klong An is the walking street, like the night market walking street. And that's fairly new, but it's been pretty quiet since the COVID lockdowns. So I'm still kind of keeping my eye on it and waiting for it to get busy and fun again. And then you can see off into the park. And today's kind of an overcast day. It's pretty pleasant. It's not super hot like it's been. It's April here in Thailand, so it's the hottest time of the year. And Songkran is coming up here in about a week. So when Songkran comes, that's usually the kind of this triggering of the rainy season. It's kind of amazing every year whenever Songkran happens that, you know, a lot of times that day it will start raining. So then it starts cooling off and then you'll get into the rainy season where it will rain every day. And I mean, it will rain every day. And this is pretty cool. So here's the guard tower with water around it. They have some little fountains. Yeah, this park is really nice. It's nobody ever talks about it. It's just kind of a hidden little gem back here in amongst all these buildings and stuff. Something to do in the evening or in the morning if you wanted to come out and get some exercise. Or you could come and just bring you a meal and sit up underneath the trees and have a picnic. So you can see the buildings that are the Thai houses, like the townhome types things, and they're right outside of where the prison complex used to be. So I'm sure this was kind of like an undesirable area before, and then when they closed the prison down, property values probably went up quite a bit. And I can hear a little bit of like remodeling and stuff going on in some of the houses. It's more of the park. As you can see on the inside of the park. Now this park is not very big. I mean, it's quite small, but it's just the former prison grounds. And it's definitely not as popular as like the newer parks like Vinjakitty Park or Rommaninat Park. Those are gigantic and they're quite nice. But this is pretty cool, just it's on a much smaller scale. And they still do a pretty nice job of keeping up this park. You can see the groundskeepers out here watering the trees and flowers, raking leaves. I mean, they're quite busy doing stuff. And then it has like a center little amphitheater type thing. Let's see what this looks like up here. Okay, so they have like a little snail fountain, and they have the fountain turned off. The crow is over here getting them a drink of water, and you can see into the park, and there's a lady down there watering the plants that they're going to be planting pretty soon. And then all these, like the red hot poker and some various others, the birds of paradise, all the stuff that you would see where I'm from. This would all be house plants, and it is always amazing to me how green this area gets and how easy it is for them to grow stuff. They just throw things out here, throw a little bit of water on it one time, and then it just starts growing. And then you have things like the orchid where you don't even have to stick it in the dirt. They just wrap the leaves around, or the roots around, like some coconut husks, and it just grows. And you just throw a little bit of mist of water on it and it gets enough humidity and grows. Those are really, really amazing. All right, so let's walk around a little bit more and then we'll go outside and see what the museum looks like. Yeah, so these are what they're getting ready to start planting. These will be really nice. And then some of these here, I don't know what these are called, but you see them quite often in places. What it looks like from the outside. So this is next to Soy Sirichai. You can see the outside of the wall, what's left of it. I think that says the name of the park, but it's all in Thai, so I can't read that. All right, so the museum is right over here, and this Soy is quite busy. Long road, and that goes off into Chinatown, a little bit further to the south. Some motorcycle taxi guys here relaxing, waiting for somebody to come up. Or Ruan Cham Junction. And it talks here. Okay, so this says it was King Chulalongkorn in 1889 made it into a prison, and it was served to detain and train prisoners so they become good citizens. And then they renamed it Rommaninat Park, and they dedicated it to the Queen on her 5th cycle birthday, so her 60th birthday in 1992. And then they converted it into the Corrections Museum. So this is the Corrections Museum over here, and it's all closed up. Everything's been taken out of it, so there isn't a whole lot to see. And this is Mahachai, this road right here. And you can see all the 60s and 70s architecture all around, all the black mold on all the buildings. Just pretty normal for Thailand. I'll show you this from the inside of the park. This is the front gate, and that's what you would have seen when you would have came up here to the prison. So this would have been a bit off the road, and then they would have had a Thai flag right there above the door, and then they had the brick wall all down. So they've since added this part to it, the museum part. So this is about all you can see of the museum. So they have it with a temporary fence blocking it off here. You got some graffiti and some homeless people that are starting to camp out here. And then all of these, there's 3 buildings that they renovated and put these into a museum. And they're completely empty. You can't hardly see through the glass, but there's nothing in there, nothing left. So I don't know what they did with all the stuff that was in here, because they said they gathered up all the artifacts from any of the prisons that they found, you know, throughout the whole country, and they put them in these buildings. So I don't know if they have a plan to build a new correction museum somewhere else or what, but this is all closed up now. You can see up there, those are all just empty windows, which is a shame. I didn't even notice this when I walked by. So they have a big door here that would have went into the prison grounds, and then here's the wall. So you can see it's about 1.5 feet thick. And then that would have went over here as a big bar to lock it, and a big padlock. And then there's the guard tower. All right, guys, so that finishes up our tour of the park and the former corrections facility with the museum that's all closed up now. anyways, it's a nice little park. It's definitely worth to come here and walk around for a little bit. And it's kind of cool how they've integrated the old walls and guard towers and everything with the current park. It's nice that you can kind of transform something like this that's you know, kind of a bad part of society, but it's also kind of necessary. You know, there's always those people that don't quite fit in, and you got to protect the rest of society from them, and hopefully it can reform them. But anyway, that's what they try to do here, and it's now a park. So if you like the video, make sure you click like and subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends if you want. Put it on your social media. And if you want to know something else, leave me a comment down below. Or if you've been here, leave me a comment and tell me what you think also. And as always, guys, remember, life is a journey. So enjoy.